what's out there is kind of a signature. You know how a band has a signature sound? Well, Shiner's kind of got this signature edit and signature filters that just make these things his, right? Well, so I go on to do about another 4.25 hours of editing on this thing, and I'm going to put one more title in it, and then I'm going to lay a music track on it, and I'm done. So I go to put a title on this thing in the front, and it locks up, and then this screen pops up saying that the program has crashed. Do I want to send a log of this crash to Adobe or not? And I'm like, what the hell do I do? So I was like, well, I'll take a picture of the screen. That way I can kind of go over what it says a little bit. And so I took a break for a second, went to the bathroom, pulled the picture of that little screen cap thing I took, looking at it, and I don't know if there's any way out of this. So I go up to the computer and I'm trying to figure out a way out of it. And then I try to get on the internet to find out if there's a way out of it. But the problem is that program's got my whole computer. So I get on the internet on my phone and I look up Crash Rush video, and it pulls it up, and basically I pretty much get told we suggest that once this happens, you restart your computer. It could be due to lack of memory. It could be due to lack of processing on video card.
Which neither is the case with your machine at all. I mean,
yeah, and I've got an NVIDIA GeForce. I want to say it's a 940 MX. And I
don't even know what that means.
Yeah, and I've got an i7. It's a 7th gen processor. I've got 2 terabytes of hard drive space. Memory. I've got a boatload of memory. I don't know how much memory. I think it's 32. Anyways, the damn thing crashed, and so I was madder than hell, as you can imagine. And so
pissed her off.
Yeah,
you never been more pissed her off.
Oh, I was pissed her and shit, and and anyways, so I go stomping off, and my wife catches me. She gives me a suggestion on how to calm down, and I follow that suggestion to the T. And boy, did I calm down.
I got real cool. I'm cool.
Oh, yeah. I was totally cool with the world. It's cool with the world. I was cool with SpongeBob on TV.
While you're eating ding-dongs?
Yeah, because she went in to take a nap just to lay down a little bit in the evening. She had a headache. So I was being totally copacetic with SpongeBob. He and I got along really well. I forgot that Mr. Krabs had a daughter that was a whale.
Was this? No, that was the night before we were texting when you were working on the project. Because I was going to say, you sent a text that I was like, I can't even answer that. And then this has happened to me more than one time. I was watching Live PD, and I am medicated beyond belief. And I am high as shit. And so I kind of doze off a little bit and get in that weird state where you're kind of awake but kind of asleep. And the officers on TV are trying to get somebody's driver's license from him who's giving them a problem. And I just keep hearing him say, "Where's your license at, man? Come on, quit messing around. Where's your license? Do you have a license or not?" And in my head, I'm like, where is my fucking driver's license?
That's awesome.
I sit there and I'm just panicking. One time it happened to me. I wasn't high. I'd had Live PD on my TV in my room all night long and fell asleep. And I had the windows open, and I had a standoff, or I think they were chasing. So they had a foot pursuit, and the guy was like, "He's on the corner of the house over by the trash can." Well, my neighbors keep their trash can outside that window on the corner of their house. And in my head, man, we had a hell of a mess going on outside. I'm like, holy shit, the cops got somebody right outside the door. No,
So you was like halfway dreaming, halfway in La La Land, and halfway listening to the TV. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, but the other night, man, I was panicked about that driver's license. I am digging around like, where in the...
Oh, yeah, because, God forbid you get pulled over in your recliner and you can't find your driver's license.
This guy thinks I'm giving him a problem, and I am not, man. I'm being cool.
Tell you what, I think we need to throw a shout out there. Urban Archery NYC, at Urban Archery NYC.
Oh, this dude, I think we've spoke about this guy before. Yeah. And I actually sent a couple DMs with him back and forth on Instagram. He actually said, I told him probably farther into the season, he's down to come on as a guest and we can interview him. If you guys don't know, this guy, I want to, man, it's New York City somewhere. I think it's the Bronx that he lives in. And to me, when I ran across this account, it blew me away because here's this gentleman that lives in one of the most urban areas in the United States. And he's decided, never done it before, he's going to try to take a deer with a bow. So it's been his journey of him learning things. And man, props to the hunting community on Instagram, because everybody that runs across this dude offers him advice, offers him gear. I mean, everybody's so like encouraging to this dude. So yeah, if you guys want to follow a fun account on Instagram, it's at Urban Archery NYC, all one word. And he gives some really cool motivational, Monday mornings especially, he'll throw a motivational video out. He does random videos, and sometimes he's asking a question. Sometimes he's putting a quote out there. Sometimes he's just going off the cuff and giving you some really motivational talk. So yeah, if you guys want to expand your horizons a little bit and see something that's not quite in the norm, man, look up Urban Archery NYC on Instagram. Tell him Shiner sent you.
You want to talk about not being in the norm? How many fathers in the 5 boroughs of New York City ever taught their kids how to hunt?
Yeah, right.
You know, and I can't imagine being an adult and learning how to hunt.
And not having anybody else. I mean, it's him and I think his cousin. I want to say it's his cousin, but it's a relative, and they're just on this journey together. Like, I can't imagine that there's a ton of resources like they can physically go take advantage of. So this has got to be mostly, we'll have to ask him when we bring him on. This has to be stuff that he's just learning through social media. Wouldn't that be a cool story?
Oh, totally. Because I mean, I can remember many times in my past, every time you went out and hunt, or at least every time I went out and hunted with the old man, it would be, one more tip to hunting.
You're going to class.
Yeah, exactly. Every single time you went out, you learned something new, if not a couple of things. But, you the first time we went out, it was during gun season, and we stood there. We didn't have a tree stand. We didn't have any blinds. We just stood there. And part of that deal was to learn, or to teach me, which I was a hyperactive kid, so this was hell. Yeah. How to be still and not say anything and not move. And for me, that's, you would think that would be impossible. But when focused on that task, I've done it for a day and a half and not moved. Slept in the same place, woke up, looked around, weapon in the same place, everything in the same place. I have a watch. Everything's good to go. Go back to sleep. You got to wait stuff out, and you got to learn how to do it. And had I not learned how to do that as a kid hunting, I probably wouldn't have been able to adapt to that as an adult after I went in the military. So now, having said that, how is it possible for somebody to just, and maybe there's books out there that are that good. I know there's videos out there. Okay. I know there's a ton of great videos, because how can you not see the video? Did I smoke him? I smoked him.
Did I get him?
Did I get him? I smoked him. Did I get him?
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube Luke Bryan shoots big buck and just watch his reaction. It's pretty hilarious.
You watch this video and you're going to swear to God, you're like, I did not realize Luke Bryan was gay. Because you watch him when he does this, kind of his feminine side kind of comes out. Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with being gay.
No. Or having a feminine side. Even I've got a feminine side.
No, either one, yeah.
But my feminine side doesn't sound like this. Right? So
you were saying that about being a kid and being taught to be still, and you're telling that story and going through that, I'm thinking about, man, when I was a kid, I can remember I wanted to be out there, of course, in the woods with everybody. I wanted to be hunting deer, but sitting still like that, I can remember thinking, God, I mean, just the morning just seemed like it lasted forever, and it was just like torture. But like now at my age, I'm 47 years old. I'm sitting out there. One of the sits we had, I was completely by myself in that blind. And I sat there as still as I could be, and my eyes are glancing around. I started thinking, this is probably one of the happiest times I ever experienced these days. Like, I love that, you know? And
yeah, so, it's very
how
reflective.
You change over years is funny.
It is. It's very reflective because if you have stuff going on in your life where you need to maybe sit and think and make decisions, or if you've just had a real stressful month or something like that, man, there is
life.
Life. Exactly. Getting in the woods and getting, if you're by yourself, or at least if you're not talking to anybody else and you're kind of by yourself, that's almost cathartic. It recharges your batteries like you wouldn't believe. If you people think a 7-day vacation on a cruise ship recharges your batteries, that ain't nothing compared to hunting.
No, I think, I don't know, man. I think, of course, people are like, I don't hunt. Well, just take a hike out and sit for 3 hours and just watch nature. Like, I don't know if you can get the same. I mean, it'll be a positive effect. I know that, but like, I think people that hunt, you are very tied to nature. I mean, you're out there. I mean, you're trying to submerge yourself in the middle of it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think people hiking are really trying to get that close to animals, not like hunters do, but you get really close to something like, I mean, I've always thought whitetail, probably the only North American animal that's more majestic to me than a whitetail is an elk. But I mean, whitetail deer are pretty majestic animals, and especially bucks and stuff. And you get 20 yards from them and they don't know you're there, and they're just behaving like they do every day without thinking about it. That's a spiritual thing for me.
Yeah. And it's something that you can tell yourself you did your job right. If that deer didn't detect you and you didn't make a sound, and that deer got to come in front of you, even if he's a little too far away from a shot, from a good shot, just having a deer 40 yards away, bending over, munching on some clover, kind of walking through a clearing, doing its thing, just mind its own business. If you can go through that and just watch them do that, that's almost cathartic in amongst itself, because A, you did your job by not alerting this deer to any of your presence, and B, you got to experience and watch something that most people will only ever see on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to see it live.
Well, I mean, it's so powerful. My dad, I mean, Sarge, he going out in the deer woods, he'll tell anybody that's his church. That's where he goes to be close to God. And like, in fact, last year, I think it was last year. Yeah. Last year we were hunting, and my dad headed out in front of us to this plot we were hunting over. And, I don't even remember what he was doing, but it was just it was the end of the day. It was probably right, like the peak of golden. It was probably like golden hour running over to blue hour. It was just awesome. And I snapped a picture of him walking out through this plot and blew it up after I edited it and gave it to him for Christmas. And he had a plaque on the bottom of it, headed to church. And I mean, that's just how powerful it is to be out there and experience that stuff. And not to boast, but it was a banger of a photo too. I mean,
yeah, but what a perfect saying for a picture.
Yeah, it was, because I tried to name that 100 times before I gave it as a gift, and he pulled that one out, so that's hanging in my parents' house, so that's pretty cool. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I haven't got too much of it yet. I'll get the haters, DMing me on Instagram by their opinion of hunting or whatever. And so be it. I mean, I'm sorry if you don't understand that and you can't, then that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, it's not about going out and shooting something.
It's not about killing. It's not about killing just to kill something.
No, it's, well, look at it. They went out on this trip, spent about 2 full days out there, and didn't get a thing, but still came home kind of batteries recharged.
Oh yeah, man.
It is. It's a big deal. And for those of you who've never hunted before, man, I'm sorry.